G'day everybody, welcome back to Sprouts Tarot. So today's reading is about offering words of compassion and encouragement for those who need to hear it. So the oracle deck that I've got here is the Kuan Yin Oracle by Lucy Cavendish, and this energy is a very soft, caring, motherly, compassionate energy. And I think sometimes we really do need a hug from the universe, and so this reading is for one of those times in your life that you feel you do need kind words of comfort to help you to keep going. The only reason why I've taken this is because there is kind of female nudity, and YouTube basically forbids this. It's a beautiful card nonetheless, but I do have to put a tape over this. So I've got 3 different decks as well. So the energy that you're picking up now is going to be the deck plus this oracle message. Okay, so as usual, use your intuition and pick the pile that speaks to you the most. I'll see you in a little while. Welcome back, Group 1. So if you pick this card, the 10 Sisters of Light, this reading is going to be a word of encouragement for you. These 10 Sisters of Light shows Kuan Yin in various incarnations. So before, the story with Kuan Yin is that she's a bodhisattva, which means that one stage before reaching enlightenment, but she can reach enlightenment. It's just that she chooses to stay behind to help us mere mortals reach enlightenment, and that's explicitly her goal, to help everybody reach enlightenment before she ascends to Buddhahood. Okay, so this card gives the energy that maybe there's a lot of baggage, should you believe in the concept of reincarnation, gathered from previous existences which you still are maybe holding on to, and this is on an unconscious level, because let's just say reincarnation, even if it is true, we have no recall. So it's like a famous author, I think famous astrologist, Stephen Forrest said, all stories related to astrology are true, they just don't have facts. So I think we understand what that means, right? So we bring lunar memories, like we bring emotional memories from each lifetime to this particular incarnation, but we don't have factual information. And so maybe the emotional memory that has brought forth has reached a stage in which there's a level of like no movement, stagnation. So this card is taken from the Body Tarot, and this is basically 4 of Cups. The area that you should pay attention to, definitely the kidney area. So in terms of actual health, there could be some resonance with a body part, which means maybe take care of diuretics if you do drink a lot of coffee or tea. But it does signal some sort of immobility at the moment. And so today's message, of course, is going to be how to move forth from this particular stage. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to use this this tarot deck to give a little story. So what I'm going to do now is try to formulate a message by seeing what is the central issue and the conscious and unconscious aspects of your particular situation, and to see if we can get some sort of like universal message for you. Okay, so let's start off with the central issue. Okay, all right. Now what we're going to do is get the unconscious elements. What is the unconscious elements of Group 1's situation? Oh, okay. Now, okay, let me just show you that, because this particular spread is going to take a lot of space. So this is the Justice card. Okay. 5 of Cups. Now, this is the no, I can't squeeze it all in. I'm so sorry, but yeah, we'll just leave the kind of images here. The central issue, the focus must be there. Okay, so let's see, what are we leaving behind? What are we looking forward to? Okay, and let's see what's at the bottom. Okay. All right, so what event that has led to a change or a conflict or inner turmoil is a necessary part of the life course to allow you to understand the fairness, not of the actual situation around you, but the fairness in your own world, in your own heart. And what I mean by that is most of us like to believe that we are a good person. So we do believe we are kind and that we are a shoulder to lean on. But sometimes when we don't have an opportunity to actually exercise these traits, it seems as though everything is theoretical. So what has happened in the past is that this particular disappointment in your life has showed you yourself how fair you are in allowing others to live the way that they want to live and how you want to be accepted. So you don't want to be somebody who is loved for who you are not. You would rather be, you would rather have people make a more discerning judgment on you based on who you are as a person. So this gives them free, unbridled, real choices in how they continue a relationship with you. So most of us tend to wear masks, even in quite intimate relationships, except for the most intimate relationship, we let the mask down. And the most intimate relationship is basically with yourself. So as you traverse through life's journey, there are many opportunities in which you can reconcile yourself with your deeper soul that has seen many versions of you, and this is but another one version. And so this particular situation is allowing you to exercise fairness within your own heart to actually deal with a certain situation that maybe for a long time you had an inkling of what kind of person you could be in a situation that is very testing to your personality or the fundamentals of who you are. And now you can firmly attest you are a person who is in fact a very fair person. The result of this is that you are going to find your soul family. It's inevitable. You are going to find your soul family. You're going to find your soulmate. And the soulmate does not necessarily have to be a romantic partner. A soulmate basically is somebody who comes in a frequency either similar to our own, or they come opposite to us, but in the area in which we are missing that component. So they are part of our completion. So the soul family that you are going to meet up soon, because you've been able to show your basically generosity towards what life can give you, and you've been able to show your fairness, the universe or the divine now is going to let you have your own group of people who you are going to get along well with. And this is the emotional healing that is going to be very pivotal in order for you to release this stagnant phase in your life, because a whole lot of the time you're still looking back at a memory that used to be. And not only have you grown, but the person or the people who you built a bond with in the past, they have also evolved, they have also grown. So it's like what I think it's Oh, Heraclides. I have not read my philosophy text in such a long time. I keep on forgetting these names. Okay, so basically, different man, different river. So a person never steps in the same river twice is what I'm trying to get at. But basically, the bond that you had curated before over quite a length of time has basically reached a point where it's already good to consume or to end at this particular point as the past characters. Okay, so it doesn't mean the relationship is ending. It means ending as the past characters or personas in which attracted you to begin with. So specifically what I mean by that is, for example, my husband and I, when we started off, I was quote unquote more materially successful than he was. And so the power balance was basically working in my favor. And it wasn't an egotistical drive. It was just that things were planned around my work schedule versus his. And so like a few years ago, things started really changing for him. So in order for me to reprioritize my life so it fits his schedule, it did take some sort of adjustment on both parts. It wasn't just me. It's a very long story, very dramatic, but we did make the change that was necessary, because if we didn't, the entire relationship would have had to be forfeited because we couldn't make the necessary adjustments, but we did. But now we carry on a relationship as the new versions of ourselves, not that old version that we were when we first met. Does that make sense? So basically, what you are longingly looking for, the nostalgic link for this particular relationship, has now is needing release, in which you are prepared to do, because within you resides the base characteristic of being a fair person. Now, what you are going to eventually move on to is the ability to find your own goal or new horizon that you can walk towards, because this particular card is stabilizing. So it is stabilization of finances or opportunities in which allow you to start working on a passion project that you really, really do love and that you can focus on. And this passion project is possibly going to relate some small way, or maybe even in a big way, to this past relationship that you had, but that has evolved. So what that means is taking the experience of this particular connection or relationship and relaying it into something that's going to be fruitful for a lot of other people. Because at the bottom of the deck here is the Eight of Pentacles. So you're going to be able to work on something that will allow you to stabilize your current situation, emotionally as well as financially. There is going to be a turnaround or a shift in the situation. And basically, Kuan Yin, the Mother of Compassion and Mercy, wants you to know that in all the times in which you have been different versions of your soul self, you have always been somebody that she can see is dependable, and also somebody who does honor their word, and somebody who keeps promises and who tries to be fair. So your soul evolutionary course is one that is going to lead to more people having the benefits of your kindness and generosity in this particular time and in all previous incarnations that you've had. People have benefited from your generosity and fairness. And so she wants you to know that she believes in you in the same way that you have faith in yourself and in this world to allow you to move towards a higher level of understanding and happiness, which is ever evolving, and that any minor setbacks is only a little bit of a rest time before you run full steam ahead with other things that you will end up doing in your life that's going to help many other people, in addition to finding your soul family. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. It's a very, very beautiful message. And yeah, I love this oracle. And this is basically on my altar. So usually I have a weekly oracle draw. And yeah, I know I said Lucy Cavendish in the beginning. But sorry, this is Alana Fairchild's work. So basically Alana Fairchild pens poetry to these particular energies, and it's a very loving message that she has. So before we finish off, what I'm going to do is actually read you the message, okay? 10 Sisters of Light, you have been here before, lived many lifetimes. Your soul has learned skills in past lives and developed abilities and talents. It is time to reawaken and reclaim those past life gifts. Kuan Yin's grace, protection, and assistance help you now to release past life wounds so that you may bring past life powers to aid your present life purpose. So you are on the right track. Okay, so have a wonderful day, and thank you as always for allowing me to read for you, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye. Welcome back, group 2. So if you pick this card, the Orchid Priestess of Destiny, today's word of encouragement is for you to pursue your spiritual or soul purpose. This card specifically talks about the need to ascend spiritually so that you can do greater good in this world. As the music flows, all the flowers come cascading down. These flowers are basically little kisses from heaven. That's what I call them anyway, when flowers actually drop towards me through a wind breeze. I like to think of them as kisses from heaven. So the love that's going to be bestowed your way, especially in pursuing your life path, is going to be very evident. You are here to do something very good, which is going to help immediately your community. Because what underlies this card is the Three of Waters, or traditionally the Three of Cups. And it highlights the necessity of having friendship and having community in search of your soul or divine purpose in life. And so I think these two energies work very harmoniously. So you can amplify basically your strengths and what you are supposed to do when you can enact your strength and virtue in a group. So I get a very strong feeling that this message is going to involve you taking the leap, maybe from a solo journey into a group or community journey, and then onwards towards something even bigger. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to get this tarot deck to find out what are the conscious and unconscious aspects for this particular reading, so we can see what words of encouragement Kuan Yin, Mother of Compassion and Mercy, would like to give to you. So this Alana Fairchild deck is something that I actually use every day on my altar. And I mistakenly called her Lucy Cavendish at the beginning. But yeah, this energy, this very soft, subtle and loving energy is what I personally need in my life. Because like I said before, I'm a very quick tempo person and I tend to get antsy. So with this kind of melodic influence in my life to basically calm me down is very essential in keeping me grounded. So I love this oracle, and yeah, I draw a card once a week, and then I stick with that energy and her guidance to keep me sane, basically. So let's see, what do we have today for group 2? Okay. Let's try one more. Let's try one more shuffle. Let's see if we can get something really beautiful going. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so let's see. What can you tell me about group 2? What message of encouragement, what words of encouragement does group 2 need to hear in order to continue their life evolution and journey? Okay, what's the central issue? Oh, okay, so yeah. Underline, so what I said before, right now it's probably on a solo journey. Oh, Page of Swords, we need to get a message. Okay, so these cards are very whimsical, very beautiful. Page of Swords. I'm sorry that I can't fit everything in this camera for you to see properly, but I'll show you the card. And what is Three of Cups? Three of Cups. Look, resonance, synchronicity. Amazing. This is very similar to group 1's energy, by the way. What are you leaving behind? This is group 1's energy. If you do feel compelled, please look at group 1. Okay, Knight of Cups. Okay. There is movement ahead. What's at the bottom of the deck? Oh, you're kidding me. This is almost exactly the same as group 1. The underlying card of group 1 was also 8 of Pentacles. And the central issue was 5 of Cups for group 1. This is spooky. Okay, so what can I deduce from this if it's exactly? Maybe this is like a twin energy effect. This is maybe a twin energy effect. This could be, right now, my channel is tiny and very, very few people watch. So maybe when the algorithm finally picks up and I get more than my solitary viewer watching this, maybe there is going to be a counterpart energy that is going to be resonant with this particular reading, and their words which need to be heard from both parties. At least that's what I'm getting now, because the cards are too similar. We've literally got this card, this card, this card, which are all exactly the same. And even the underlying card was an emotional one. Okay, so what we have here is right now, this point of seclusion that you have is a necessary point. In your mind's eye, you are in a place where you need to be in order to recharge and also to draw inspiration from your environment. Your beauty cannot be on display all the time, and a beautiful energy that you do have. So there's physical beauty, there's emotional beauty as well. However, that cannot always be on display because there's a point of exhaustion otherwise. Okay, before we move on, I need to get a message from the Page of Swords. And since we are doing a higher spiritual reading, I'm going to use this deck here. Okay, this Tarot / Oracle. Okay, let's see what card. What message does the Page of Swords have for group 2? What message does the Page of Swords have for group 2? Yeah, the importance of going with the flow. Okay. Yep, so this is going to be a new way of being. So during this time in which you are in seclusion or closing yourself off, oops, oh, my book slipped, to explore your inner realm, it's a more tranquil and beautiful place in which you are withdrawing to. So you could be lost in books, you could be lost in fluffy cushions and candles and soft music, anything to take away the buzz of life in itself. And slowly you are understanding how important it is to not struggle. So the more that you struggle, the more oppressive certain forces appear to be. So even if you take a look at this peacock as it is walking towards, it looks like some sort of dip. Like it actually looks like a waterfall of some sort leading to, but because it has this particular branch that it can stand upon, and this branch looks kind of fragile, but enough to support itself, to actually level itself up to firmer ground. It is not afraid of this waterfall that can pull it down, and instead it can appreciate the waterfall for what it is, which is a beautiful scenic expression of nature, in order to give life, because water is what sustains the growth of flora, okay, and inadvertently animals, fauna. So this new underlying feeling that you have, understanding to go with the flow of life, is essential in attracting the same as group 1, your new soul family here. So this is in the exact same position as group 1. So you are going to find alignment. Your energy is sending out signals in order to attract a soul group or soul family. People who share a certain interest but from different perspectives are basically coming your way. You're drinking from the same source but each from different cups, and hence you can bounce ideas off each other. You can cross-pollinize ideas and thoughts that you have. So this particular energy that you are moving towards is going to be bountiful for you in terms of an emotional sphere especially, and this will come to you without struggle once you learn to let go of how to go against the current in other aspects of your life. You're going to draw this soul group in towards your life, because what you are leaving behind is the idea that life is basically a struggle, that you're leaving behind maybe competition being necessary in life. You're discovering that these things don't hold true because there is enough to go around. And so it doesn't mean that if you use this resource that other people no longer have access to it, especially an example like water, right? It's abundant. But if we keep it in a bottle and we only see the water in terms of a bottle and how much of it is consumed, we limit our scope of understanding life as a whole. And we also, we minimize our parameters of what we can and cannot do. So this scarcity, this limitation, this believing that it's a struggle or competition is going to be left behind. And there is a new energy that is going to come your way that allows you to move forward. Because if you take a look at this Knight of Cups here, it's a very funny picture. But as we were talking about water, this is the resource that is going to propel you forward. So water, what resource is it? It's emotional resilience, emotional strength. And it's so funny how bubbles are coming out of this fish guidance hybrid, but it looks like a weather balloon. So it is the mixture of air and water, which means logic with emotions, and these two things are harmonizing and balancing itself. So no longer are you going to be emotionally driven, nor are you just going to exercise your logical faculties and become black and white, or like be very cold under the guise of I'm only being truthful. So you're going to learn to maneuver this particular delicate balance to ensure that life is more fulfilling for others who transact or who interact with you, and also for yourself in how you appear to other people, or how other people see you, and how you see yourself in the eyes of others. it's not necessary that we live our lives according to others' expectations or agenda, but we do live in a society in which there is more than one, which is more than ourselves. So understanding the context or situation in which we are excelling in, or that we are things that we are good at relative to other things and other people, is a very important way to understand our role and position in our society. And what that is going to lead is, once again, same as group 1, the development of a passion project that where work doesn't feel like work. It becomes like a certain sunny element in your life that you have this particular thing to do, which is commonly known as work, but it won't feel like it. It's a dedication to a higher octave of growth, and it is a divine mission that you are going to be working towards. Because just like here, so this orchid priestess is making music with the kisses from heaven falling on her feet. You can also see that this cat here, can you see this image here? All the pentacles are, well, like beneath her feet that she can walk on, which means that the pentacles sustain her, not that she's working towards the pentacles. So there's no struggle. The pentacles afford her safety, which means that this new phase in your life, the work that you are going to undertake, is the thing that gives you emotional sustenance as well as being maybe lucrative. But it won't feel like your normal 9-to-5 struggle anymore. It is going to be a new lease in life for you to do something that is spiritually fulfilling, and that really is the adage of find something that you love and you never work one day in your life kind of thing. Okay, so yeah. So like I said, so if you feel like drawn to group 1, please go and click on that segment as well, because maybe there's another necessary piece of the puzzle that you could learn or or want to hear from. Okay, so before we leave, let me read this Orchid Priestess of Destiny card. The Orchid Priestess of your highest spiritual destiny calls to you now. She inspires you to discover and express your purpose. You are encouraged to live into your potential with all its uniqueness and beauty. Her sweet flute playing deep in your heart, blossoms of orchid and chrysanthemum falling from her feet, she stirs your heart to quest for your true soul passion. So yeah, so your message of encouragement is that the next phase in your life is definitely going to be for the higher soul purpose of the reason why you chose to come back this time. Okay, as always, thank you for allowing me to read for you, and I wish you all the best, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye. Welcome back, group 3. So if you pick this card, the Celestial Mountain, then today's word of encouragement is for you to call on your support system for help in achieving your life goals or your immediate goal. And support system, I'm talking especially of like a divine type of support system. So maybe asking your higher self, or if you do have a faith of some sort, to ask for that the higher source to give you the volition to move ahead and to succeed. So this is asking the divine energy to really come and show you the way through messages, through maybe certain things that you're going to hear, just through eavesdropping even, that elicits this kind of spark of motivation or genius for you to have that aha moment, the epiphany, in order for you to go ahead and start whatever it is that you believe you should do. Now, the underlying card here is the spleen. Now, the spleen traditionally was, well, it had a reputation of being melancholy and for creating anger. So apparently, according to the book explanation, people used to use the expression of vent your spleen, which means basically to spit it out and say what you mean and mean what you say. But apparently now we know that the true function is to actually have, to create healing in the body, fight infections and rejuvenation of cells, etc. So this organ, as we know it now, is an organ that allows the body to regenerate, to recuperate, and hence to realign itself into some mode of balance. So with these things together, it looks as though maybe you're quite vested in the material front or the logical side of life, and now you've reached a point where that logic can only take you so far. So the next step that is going to propel you forward is to believe in that little bit of extra or magic in life to really take you to the new threshold. That's what I'm feeling. So now what we're going to do is get tarot to basically highlight your current situation and see what message of encouragement we can pull out from this situation. So to allow you to feel good enough and to feel confident and to continue doing what it is that you're going to do. So this particular oracle deck, the Kuan Yin Oracle, is very personal and special for me because I use this Kuan Yin energy, a very soft, motherly, maternal energy, as my altar card. So usually I do a weekly draw, and then from that I basically immerse myself in my study room under the auspices of Kuan Yin, the mother of compassion and mercy. So like I said in group 2, I'm kind of antsy, so I need this mellowing energy in my life, and hence I put Kuan Yin's energy on my altar. Okay, so we got 2 cards coming out. Oh, nice. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, so your sense of intuition has always kind of guided you in achieving things, actually. So you have a high sense of like intuition, sixth sense, which has already guided you quite successfully in the material realm. Okay, so now let's find what is an underlying issue. Oh, wow, things are going really great. Okay. Leaving behind. Moving towards. Ooh. Okay, so here is the Sun card. So you've got a lot of major arcana here. Now, arcana means the play has already been set in motion. So pretty much the cast is sorry, the die is cast, sorry. Yeah, I was thinking about like using a production like a movie theater metaphor. So yeah, it looks as though things are already in play. So I would say from this reading, you are a highly intuitive, sensitive person, and your quote-unquote luck is not luck. It is an inherent spiritual genius that you've carried innately from birth that has allowed you to materialize a lot of things currently considered in our world as material success or achievement. You've been able to attract abundance in your life, and intuitively you know how to do this. This is something, the optimism that you have for life is the thing that has guided you from very, very early on. And it doesn't matter what life throws at you, you're always going to land like the egg sunny side up. And this enthusiasm that you've always kind of had within you, maybe now is at a changing point. Now, what I mean by that is because it looks as though what a new element in your life is to look back at the past, especially at tender moments in your life. Those moments which, for many people, maybe it's like a Polaroid flash, but for you, it's like a sepia long movie that's put on a continuous reel. And this kind of nostalgia is coming back in kind of full effect in basically molding your future. And there's a particular episode that you remember that is, maybe it involves like a childhood sweetheart, or not even like, not like a love type thing, but maybe a promise of some sort as a child that you had with another person to become a certain way. And this connection now is coming back into your life. Now, in what form, we don't really know at this stage unless we keep on looking further into the cards. But what it does look like is that this childhood energy has metamorphosized into this. Okay, so what this is kind of really, if this is a love reading, a feeling reading of some sort, in your path to pursue excellence, maybe one part of your life has been put on hold. And because you're such an optimistic person, it didn't really come up as an issue because you've always looked at life with the glass half full. And so it doesn't matter what other people deem to be missing elements. It's not a missing element as far as your conceptual framework is involved. You've always learned to make the best of every single situation. But now I think there's a pull towards nostalgia because there is a person who's going to come back into your life and to fulfill this role of the King of Cups. And this is why you're moving away from this balance that you've always exercised, which, you see, once again, there's resonance here, the Temperance, right? The balance that you've always had in life in constructing this, the intuitive side with the very material, realistic side, and mesh these two things together so it works in a very like sublime symphony to result in success. So it's a beautiful way to succeed. It's not like some people who have success in one particular way that feels like a betrayal to a soul core element in their being. Yours works in concert with the being who you are. However, your overall life as like the entire picture needs this adjustment of this element, this cup element, which is maybe love of a different sort, not passion for work, but love as a concept to now come forth. So this temperance of these two things, intuition with material success, now is going to move over into navigating feelings, the emotional realm with love. And what will trigger this is this pull back to a different time period in which there was this innocence in your life that formed this particular bond, which now seems almost like a magical occurrence. And it kind of looks like this person, the person who you had this bond with, is going to come back in some way in your life, maybe as an adult form. So it could mean this actual person that you had this connection with as a child, you're going to have this serendipitous meeting and you're going to go, oh, aren't you so-and-so? And then he or she's going to say, yes, most likely he, purely on this card. And he's going to go, yeah, oh, how did we ever stop contacting each other? And then you're going to rehash the old stories. And this person is either going to come back in your life further on as a love interest, or this person is going to ignite this factor in your soul for the desire for a different kind of passion, which is more akin to love. Okay, so I'm quite interested in this actually. Now let's put this here. This is round 1. Let me get round 2. So can we see the second layer to this story? What happens further on with this King of Cups? What happens further on with this King of Cups, please? Oh, 2 come flying out. Okay. Wow. Okay, wait 1 second. Let me just see something. This is just for my own curiosity, because this King of Cups is going to become the King of Wands. And this, there is going to be some sort of bottleneck in the future. But this King of Cups is going to be this King of Wands. There is going to be a rejuvenation. First is getting in touch with your feelings, and then the spark of inspiration to move forth. Yep, joy. Gathering. Yep, so harvesting the universe's energy. Oh, sorry, this was in reverse. So the sorrow path is gone and the artist arrives. Change. Oh, okay, so this does not really look like a romantic connection. This person very likely is like a childhood best friend of some sort, like a kindred spirit who you met in a particular time of your life. Doesn't even have to be childhood. It just means considering your vintage, rewind the time back from that point. So, for example, if you're already in your 30s, and this could be someone in your 20s and teens. If you're 40s, then it could be someone in your 30s, 20s, teens, etc. But this King of Cups first is designed to basically cause a little bit of confusion in your life. That's because the scale needs to be tipped towards love or this emotional realm. And that's the new point that you need to temper. You need to make your intuitive adjustments between, instead of intuition and material success, it needs to be intuition with feelings or emotions. And this King of Cups energy, basically, the King of Cups is somebody who's very in control of their, or understands their own emotional map very well already. They know what triggers them. They know their own love language. They know what they need to do in order to take themselves to a safe space or to the happy space, or whatever terminology that you know that you want to use, that applies. In the future, you could be involved in a situation that involves kind of moving on to the final point of that goal. But you're going to reach a point in which you begin to look back and reflect and say to yourself, was there something that was amiss in this journey? As optimistic as you are, but we all have that. There are some points in our life in which we reflect back and you say, could I have done this differently? Would I have done this differently? And this is when this King of Cups is going to put this inspiration, like this King of Wands, and basically give a very piercing insight into the way that your life is heading or will be heading towards. And basically here it is joy after walking through this period in which you do have to take an in-depth reflection of your life, take stock so far, in which it will be kind of like a lonely journey for a little while. Then the creative spirit will come back. It might come back in the literal form of a home to spark this inspiration, or you're going to find your community. And more likely, it looks like a community, the home and the brother, which is the bond. So your next direction in life and what the Divine Mother Kuan Yin is saying to you is your next realm of balance is going to be your intuition, which you have already honed through to working your intuition with material success, into working with intuition and the emotional realm and the abundance that being in touch with your emotions are going to bring. Okay, so it seems as though you're moving to an area in your life in which the worth, the value of an experience is purely going to be the tears of joy or the tears of reflection that this particular experience is going to bring you, rather than a trophy that you can put on the mantelpiece. Okay, so now let's read this message to the celestial mountain. You have the ability to invoke divine power, to call to the celestial mountain so that you might be gifted with the spiritual energy you need to attain your goals. Permitting beings that love you unconditionally to help you is an expression of spiritual empowerment. You empower the divine forces that can assist you to come to your aid and help you manifest your visions. So you will have you already have a spiritual connection. If you clicked onto this group, you're born with it. So this could be the result of having many different lives as like spiritual masters, or even within this lifetime you've had a ongoing love with spirituality, with mainstream religion, basically with anything that expands your realm of thought. You could also be incredibly artistic, because the other way that we can reach the divine is also through art. So this intuitive streak that you've always had is now onto the next phase, where it is coupling with the realm of emotion rather than the realm of earth, which is the material aspects. So it looks as though it's a wonderful phase for you to be going towards, because when life ceases to be the material struggle, it truly is a beautiful opportunity for the soul to experience, to have an experience. So yeah, as always, thank you for allowing me to read for you, and I look forward to seeing you again in the future. Bye.